Well, thank you everybody for coming. My name's Tim Homuth. Quick background, I'm a marketer. Online marketing, kind of Google AdWords, day one guy, done digital marketing. My last venture was a social media marketing agency, so social media was my big thing for the past 2 years. I don't know if you guys were here for my last talk. I did Google AdWords, so it'd be a few things that we'll kind of build on there, kind of expand. So kind of last minute thing, guys asked me to put this on, and there was a great article about growth hackers by Andrew Chen. I don't know if anyone got a chance to see it. Couple people. Okay, cool. So I won't bore you with the details on it, but we'll kind of go through it. But it went all through the valley. Everybody's been reading it, pushing it off to the startups. All the startup world is all abuzz about it. So it's kind of what we'll talk about today. Give you some of my opinions on it, but also would like to be interactive. I don't have all the answers, don't have every example out there, couldn't possibly cover them all today anyways. So feel free. This is get you thinking like a growth hacker, come up with your ideas and examples. So what is a growth hacker? So Sean Ellis was the original person to kind of throw it down as a definition a couple years ago. And I'll just read this for people in the back. A growth hacker is a person whose true north is growth. Everything they do is scrutinized by its potential impact on scalable growth. Is positioning important? Only if the case can be made that it is important for driving sustainable growth. So you get the point. It's the person inside the organization that we need to grow, we need to push forward. This is that article that I was referring to that just kind of went viral on its own a couple weeks ago. Growth hacker is the new VP of marketing. It's the claim by Andrew Chen. And again, I'll just read this for the people in back. Growth hackers are a hybrid of marketer and coder, one who looks at a traditional question of how do I get customers for my product and answers with A/B tests, landing pages, viral factor, email deliverability, and Open Graph. On top of this, the discipline of direct marketing with its emphasis on quantitative measurement, scenario modeling via spreadsheets, and a lot of database queries. If a startup is pre-product / market fit, growth hackers can make sure virality is embedded at the core of the product. After product market fit, they can help run the score on what's already working. One of the takeaways retweeted by this Eric Ries, show hands, Eric Ries fans, Lean Startup. Okay, good. So this is one of the pieces that he pulled out. The fastest way to spread your product is by distributing it on platforms using APIs, not MBAs. So this is really Andrew Chen's kind of thing, is where we're at right now. You can run PR, you can do traditional marketing campaigns, but really what we're seeing that's catapulting people out there is hitting the Open Graph, doing viral objects, building virality, building spread, building marketing into the product that people are going to share. And the examples that it was given, the article is great, it gives a breakdown. We have all the slides after, so you can get all the URLs. He's giving an example of Airbnb and how they use the API for Craigslist. Show of hands if people are familiar with Airbnb, or familiar with what they did on Craigslist. So hopping on, and what Eric Chen was saying is the only person who could have figured that out, basically what Airbnb did is there wasn't an available tool. They went in and did a hack job and figured out how they could interact with Craigslist API, and as a result were able to piggyback on the mega network of Craigslist and push their product through it. Andrew Chen, what he's explaining is a regular traditional marketer would not have figured that out. It takes somebody who's got some hacker skills, who understands code and how it works, then applied marketing thought towards it to make it happen. And that's really where we're at right now. It's the engineers who understand marketing concepts. They're really the ones who are in have an advantage over everybody else to really make things grow. Again, for the people in back, Dilbert cartoon. Guys telling Dilbert, I hate sales. Can you cross-train me to be an engineer? Absolutely. All you need is a time machine and a brain with twice as many folds as your current model. Maybe I could try marketing. That's just liquor and guessing. I take absolutely no offense to that. It really is, but what we want to do is we want to get engineers and marketing people working together. So for the rare individual who is the engineering expert and has the wherewithal of marketing and concepts and gets that all together, that's great. I think that's a very rare, unique individual. We can name them, they're out there, the Zuckerbergs and other people who get it on both sides and are competent on both sides. The reality is your really good coders probably aren't as up on their marketing. Your really good marketers really aren't as up on their code. But everybody should come together somewhere in the middle, and I truly believe it's just a matter of two smart people sitting in a room and sharing ideas back and forth. So that's kind of what I want to do today, is kind of get on how we can communicate, how you can go back and forth, how you can work with your marketers. So how engineers can work with marketers, marketers work with engineers, ask the right questions, and discover how to be a growth hacker. So viral growth and sustainable growth. So growth is growth, and there's a bunch of different ways to do growth. And just because of the sake of time and what we're doing, I'm going to kind of dive into viral growth because that is one of the big key things of the whole growth hacker. So viral coefficient. Viral coefficient says that it's your number of invites times your conversion rate. So you need to have a conversion rate of at least 1. So this is saying that we have 10 people who we've invited to it. Of those 10% converted, we will 1. At a viral coefficient at 1, we have growth. Again, I have the slides. You can go look these up. This is done by David Skoke. He's the man on viral growth. You can read forever on his blog, and his spreadsheets, you can download directly from the site. But this is just a model of simple viral growth. It shows that a viral growth of 1, we chart 1. So starting customers, we got 10. Next cycle, we got 20. Third cycle, we got 30. Fourth, we got 40, 50, and we virally spread. Something's built into the product that everybody that we bring in tells a friend, tells a friend, tells a friend, and it keeps growing. Simple viral growth with a coefficient of 2 means we're growing twice as fast, and this is where things get exponential. Cycle 1, we got 10. 30, 70, 150, 310. So of course, the higher coefficient you have for viral growth, the bigger and faster you get. One thing that's usually left out, and he includes in here, is a more complicated spreadsheet, and it's taking into consideration the time factor. So you can have viral, but usually most of the simple equations don't take into account how fast it's going to be, and time is the big play on that, is how quickly that we can come in. So in this case, I put in the time the time it takes to complete a full viral cycle in days. So at 5 days, and you can see now your growth takes off just exponentially. So that's one of the variables most people don't fall in. The other one is churn. You're usually going to lose some people along the way, and we can account for all this. It just gets into more complicated spreadsheets. But the truth is, true viral growth is very, very difficult, if not impossible, to plan for and get right. There's so many factors that have to come together. Everything has to hit right. The plan has to be perfect. The plan has to work exactly perfect. It very rarely happens. So what you really want to do is, if you have a viral coefficient that's less than 1, you do not have true viral growth. If you have a viral coefficient that is less than 1, you must retain active users. So this is where Facebook, we saw Facebook takes off like crazy. It gets to a point where you have the entire world is on Facebook. Now what do? We need to keep them here. So in retaining the active users, and that is where the marketer who understands analytics, the engineer should also understand what the marketer is looking for analytics, and Andrew Chen touches on this. So somebody left a comment. So there's, in the article, it's great. You have Seth Godin, famous marketer. You have just, the who's who in Silicon Valley leaving comments on this. And somebody throws out, a good digital marketer knows analytics. This is basically digital marketing 101. People should know this. And he points out, well, if it's basic and you know it, you're not doing it right. Because when you're engineering products, you're looking at things that are a lot more complicated, and a lot of times you have to get into the coding really to come up with your analytics. The great thing is, it can be done. The marketer knows what they need, they know how it can be done. The engineer is the person who's going to need to do it. So if the engineer understands the importance of it, where it is, get your engineers and your marketers working together, and you have the growth hacker. So analytics, the two main things you're usually looking at, you're looking at your daily active users. What can I do to entice somebody to come back every day? Because obviously that's our most valuable person. And then beyond that is your monthly active users. And that's what everybody really should be glued to. You get your viral growth, but more important than your sustainability. So just in days, so in months here. So time to reach 1 million users. It took LinkedIn the longest, 106 months. You know, Google Plus, you're building on this enormous platform. In 7 months, they got to 100 million versus Facebook, Twitter, 45. But again, sustainability, this is a problem. You got MySpace. You know, if you don't have the sustainability, you have the growth. It's like, great, out of the gate, we're huge. Did we monetize? It's gone now. So it's more of the sustainability, and that's where your marketer and your analytics, and what are we doing to keep these people along? Or are they coming back every day? Do we have the touch points? Do we need new touch points? Do we need to do things to encourage people to come back more often? And just to touch on the viral loop, because in a perfect world, we have viral growth and it takes off on its own. Reality is you don't always have viral growth. It's just a little bit less. And this is where the concept of the viral loop comes in. Raise your hands for know the concept of viral loop? Okay, great. Touched on this a little bit in Facebook ads talk that I was giving. And essentially the viral loop is if I throw something out there and it's viral. So say, this is an example, it's done by Buddy Media, they're one of the powerhouses. They have the best graph that I could find online, so I'm borrowing it from them. But essentially what it's saying is, Michael likes your site. So he's either posting this directly to Facebook or he's hitting the like button, but he's sending out that social signal to let all of his social world know that he likes your site. That activity is posted to Michael's Facebook profile, it then appears in the news feed, and Michael's friends click on the news feed, and then it comes back around. So very simple of this is like when you're looking at, reading an article on the Huffington Post or CNN.com or somewhere, and you hit the like button, it shoots it around. Where this is significant is because if you have perfect viral growth, you don't need to spend any money on advertising. It's free. People just come to you. By the nature of the product, you constantly have a stream of people coming into you. The reality is you usually don't have that. What the viral loop does is it keeps it at a discount. So the viral growth, your customers are free. It sends out there, you get them for free. The viral loop is customers at a discount. So if I spend $1 in advertising to get somebody to come over and read my article or see my product or interact on it, if they die right there, if there's no viral product built in there, if there's nothing that's taking them to the next loop, it's dead. That's $1 spent to get a customer. And then it's if I can optimize that customer. But if that customer takes an action to send that out virally, they share it on Facebook, push it out on Twitter, now they go back up. So now that $1 that I spent got me this customer, and this customer then shot back around, shared it with other people, and say 10 more people saw it, and they came back. And one of them signed up, they shot it out, and now we have the viral loop. It's not true viral growth where just that person brings in two, brings in two, brings in two, but the viral loop means I spend $1 and I potentially get 3 people out of it, or more, depending on how good your viral loop is.
Now, would Groupon be a good example?
Groupon would be a good example, yeah. So when you're on Groupon, the viral loop in Groupon is great because I'm introduced to Groupon. And then what do? I go share it with other people. So Groupon may have gotten me initially because I saw a Google ad. So I click on the Google ad, I give my $1 to Google. So Groupon paid $1 to get a hold of me. I come over to Groupon, but then I share it with a number of people. So you can track this. This is where it gets really complicated, and this is where your average digital marketer is way beyond Google Analytics and stuff. This is when we got to figure out exactly how this is going. But you can track that person all the way down the line to see exactly how far that $1 went. 4 ways customers drive sustainability. So Eric Ries with the Lean Startup kind of pulled out these examples because I think at the core, there's lots of ways to do growth, but I think that what he's done in the book, if we stick to these 4 examples, will give you a good idea, good place to go. So we got word of mouth, we have a side effect of using the product, we have paid advertising, and we have repeat use. So word of mouth, and this is what we kind of just touched on. When people love your product, they'll tell other people about it. Great word of mouth is often the holy grail of advertising. It's cheap, incredibly effective, but also difficult to build deliberately. This is what you're saying at the right. It's like if you have that great, I got a Mac, it's word of mouth. I'm telling everybody my Mac's the greatest thing. People, if you build the perfect product, build a great product, people will tell everybody to go out. But you also want to make it as easy as possible for people to tell about this product. So if I love this product and I'm sitting at my computer and I'm not in a room full of people that I can tell and brag about it, I can share it socially. So this is the importance of the social icons and pushing it out there. Facebook, tweet, Gmail, share. You want to make it as easy as possible to get out there. So what we want to do is we want to help people share this. So this is more kind of coming into the marketing, and I lost a couple of things didn't come through on this part of it. Well, I stole this and then roughly adapted it from Robert Cialdini, 6 Principles of Persuasion, and I think we'll get the PowerPoint that has everything. We imported it to Keynote for the machine, so we don't quite have everything, but it's got a link to the book. So why do people share? Why do people tell about the product? Why do people hit the Facebook like button and the tweets and send it out in an email? First thing is prestige. So if I share everything on Facebook, if I found this piece of content, I found your product, and I tell the world about it, why am I doing this? For the prestige. I'll be viewed as an important because I'm associated with this important brand. Why do I tell everybody about the Mac that I have? It's because it's cool. And if I tell everybody I have this cool thing, it makes me cool. It's prestige. I'm the first in line to get the product. Authority, people will look up to me because I'm the first one to know about things. And you see, it's as simple as, when you see the comments, people writing first, people are motivated by this. They want to be the front of the line. They want to tell everybody they got it first. They got it out there. Consistency. This is an importance of social media, of getting people to hit that like button, and that's a lot of power for brands on Facebook is, well, why do I care how many fans I have or that people like my product? People are consistent. People, if they take an action, they will continue to take the action because nobody wants to be a liar. So say my brand is Reebok, and I go to Reebok and I click like. I'm more likely to buy Reeboks next time because I've already made that commitment. I've told myself, if not the world, I'm the guy who buys Reebok. To show up in Nikes, well, that's not consistent with my behavior. I liked Reebok. I'm a Reebok guy. I'm going to go buy Reeboks more often. And social proof. And this is where, with social media and everything out there, is if everyone else likes it, so do I. So when I showed at the very beginning, we had the Facebook like, and it's showing the ticker up and up. You also see that go off. If, nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd. You get a few likes, you get a few likes more, and snowballs and goes on. Social design. So this is directly from Facebook, so something that you can do. Social design is a way of thinking about product design that puts social experience at the core. Create these social experiences with the features available on Facebook's platform, and there's a link right there. The link, as engineers, what I encourage people to do is go in and read these, understand them, know everything that's possible that's out there and how to use the tools. Facebook has done a really good job in putting all that information out there. They explain it, how it works, why it works, what you can build on. A lot of people touch on this. Seth Godin was great. He consistently talks about you have to build the virality into the product. Same thing that Facebook's saying here is the virality is the product should be the share. It should have something built in it. So a couple of examples here of how this works. So this is a screenshot from Gilt Group. Show hands, Gilt Group. Okay. So Gilt Group, the fashion brand's getting them out there. What they've done here for their viral spread is they're going to buy it. So they're going to pay you to bring your friends in. So I've signed up for Guilt Group, and now they're asking me to invite my friends. Get $25. So the fine print here, for each friend you invite, Guilt Group will credit your account with $25 after your friend makes their first purchase. It's brilliant marketing, it's great, a lot of people have done it, but there's no loss to Guilt. You're gonna invite all your friends. If they buy something, great, we'll give you $25 for it. If they don't, it's no loss to us. They played around with it, and I've seen this in other cases, and it seems like $25 is that magic tipping point. It's sort of where like everything on TV is $19.99. Everything's $19.99 because nobody cares about $19.99. It's $20, whatever, I'll buy it just to see if it works. $25, it's $25. And I can do math real quick. Well, if I invite my friends, and I'm on Guilt Group, and my other friends, they all shop and they love this kind of stuff, they're actually likely to buy something. $25, if I get 4 people, that's $400, that's a new pair of shoes. You know, this could be considerable. So the reward is high enough for me to spam my friends. So I'll import the email address. They make it real easy. Gmail, Yahoo, MSN, this is how growth hackers should be using it. How can I build on a platform that I can reach as many people as possible at once? Boom, right there, I upmail my Gmail contacts, blast that out. The other thing that's built in here, this link right here, I'll show a couple other examples in your invite link. I can take, this is my special link, and I can post it to Facebook, and I can post it to Twitter, and I can get it out there. And then the other fine print is, it only works if I get to my friends first. Because if my friends are already a member of Guilt Group, I don't get the $25, so I gotta get them first. So what does this tell me? I gotta get this news out there right away. Because if any of my friends know about this first and they get all my friends first, they're gonna sign up. It's perfect MLM marketing thing, gets it out there. So it's time sensitive, I have to get it out there for everybody else to see it, so they sign up through my link. I have to get as many people as I possibly can, because the more people I get, the more money I get. And they made it real simple to do, and I'm not a jerk for doing it. It's Guilt Group, it's fashion, it's cool. I'm not a bad person for sharing it. And $25, if it's gray area, if I'm a bad person for spamming my friend, it's $25. New shoes. AppSumo, probably more hands are familiar with AppSumo. Okay, AppSumo, this is absolutely brilliant what they've done. This is their contest. So this was, they do these all the time, they go around, and they got the model absolutely perfect. Not a big surprise, no Kagan. They were giving away, and I think this is still going on, if you want to sign up through this URL, I think I get credit, so take that down. Entrepreneurs book collection, and it was awesome. They gave away all these books. I think there's like 20 or 50 or 100 books or whatever it's in it. But you come up, and this is the last page as you see. So it says, hey, you hit the contest. How'd you hear about us? Please sign up. Please enter your email. Cool, thanks, boom. Get more entries when friends enter. So share it on Facebook, tweet it, share it on LinkedIn, copy and paste your lucky URL, because special, get 10 entries for every one of your lucky URLs. This lucky URL, now I post that to Facebook, and I post it everywhere, and I'm not the jerk, I'm actually the cool guy, because I introduce everybody to an opportunity to get this great collection of books. Wouldn't you like to have the collection of books? I'm a nice guy for sharing this. Now when it comes across, it doesn't tell you that I've increased my odds by 10. But what this does do is it tells me that if I don't share this, I'm at a loss. Because I clicked on your URL, you already got 10 entries. I gotta share this quickly, I gotta get this out there, because now I'm invested in this product. I spent all this time entering my email, I clicked the submit button, I've gone all this way, but if I don't share it, I'm at a loss. I'm already at least 10 people behind, and who knows how many other people got out there, so I have to share it, and I have to share it fast. Side effect of using a product, and so this is one that we see a lot. Many products advertise themselves. iPhones, Coach Purse, and Gmail are great examples. Simply by using a product, a customer advertises your product to people around them. So fashion's a great example. Like they say, the Coach Purse, it's out there, everybody sees it. The Mac, everybody's got a Mac, it spreads, gets the product out there. So to pick on Facebook, and Facebook has done this absolutely excellent. You've seen these, so this is just screenshots from some of my friends' names have been disguised to hide the guilty. First one there is from Spotify. You guys probably have all seen this. Your friend's listening to this right now. It's just because he's using the product, I'm seeing it. So it's advertising itself just by being used. This one I think is great. Social Cam and Vidi. Have you guys seen these on Facebook? Luckily I was able to find a tame one that a couple of my friends are watching. So Massive Waves hit a boat. But everybody's seen the one of, celebrities bikini leaves little to the imagination and stuff. Just a little FYI for everyone who's not so savvy on Facebook. Every time you click on one of those and the app says click to submit, look in the lower left-hand corner and it shows you who it's set to. It's for public or all your friends. Click on the button and set it to only me, and then it doesn't get broadcast to all your friends. I've talked to some guys I was talking to kind of in the church industry, and they were kind of saying it's kind of touchy when, your friends are pastor, and your pastor's kind of looking at reading articles, might not need to. And then the last guy, the brilliance in the gaming industry. Look to the gaming industry, understand games, understand gamification, how it works, but look at how games spread. Games live and die on how fast they move. So understand games, understand how people get invited, and look for ways that you can take those core concepts and integrate them with your product. So touch on this. So this is the open graph that Facebook is using. So Facebook was just the like button. It was just on Facebook, and then they moved it out so that you can like objects around the web. Wherever you are, you can collect, you can like, you can tell everybody that you've seen it, and you can kind of collect stuff your own. So Spotify, what they've done is they've opened it up to, it's not just the like button anymore. You can throw in any adjective, verb you want, anything in there. So now instead of people liking a song on Spotify, people listen to a song on Spotify. People cook something, people watched something on Netflix. This opportunity is huge. There's not very many companies doing it. The only ones that you see that are doing it are the very large companies. This, I think, is a very underutilized, and I think it's kind of back to what we're talking about as growth hackers, is there's not that many people who really understand how to do this. There's the marketers who, you can read through it and everything, but okay, I got that, now I got to put it in the website, and my web guy says, oh, it doesn't really work that way, and my engineer says, well, we already built the product in this. This is where we need growth hackers. You need, the marketing person needs to understand how to do this, but more importantly, I think this comes a lot quicker to the engineer who understands a little bit about the marketing concepts, knows that that's an option, why that's important because of growth, and can integrate that with the product. So when you're building the product, you're thinking about the product, think about how you can use these APIs to push your product out. Paid advertising, and this was kind of, I'll skip over this one pretty quick because we kind of touched on this on the Facebook ads talk I gave. This is what most businesses rely on. As long as you're able to keep the cost of advertising below the marginal revenue from the campaign, you'll probably do just fine. Businesses run into problems when they don't keep advertising costs under control. To help you do this, make sure you've built a system that can track the effectiveness of ads. Google Analytics, I got a couple other things that are cut off there. This is where the marketer and the engineer should understand is the analytics. If we're spending money, how much are we getting back? And this is where you have to track absolutely everything. And in Andrew Chen's definition of a growth hacker, one of the things that he really puts out there is the direct marketer. The direct marketer, if you study any kind of marketing, lots of different kinds of marketing, I really encourage direct marketing. The people that used to do postcards and mail them out to you, those are the best marketers in my opinion because they have to be precise. You have to know, to keep your cost down, to make it work, I have to get that card that I spent $1 to mail out, I have to get it to the right person. My sales copy has to be the best possible thing to convert on, has to get in, and it has to be, so it has to make sense, makes the money work. Where this evolved into online marketing, I spend money on AdWords. AdWords show up at my website. I then A/B test those. I then price test those to see what converts the best. But paid advertising then comes into the viral loop. So understanding our marketer, our advertising department did their job. They got the customer here. Now that we're on our product, how can we take this product, throw it back up into the social network, get it out there, so that every dollar that we spend coming in hits the viral loop and we get the most out of that dollar. And repeat use. Many products need to be bought repeatedly in order to continue to use them. Magazine subscriptions, supplements, Netflix, and web hosting are all good examples of this. When you have a product that requires repeat purchases, you only have to obtain a small number of new customers to keep growing. This is the holy grail. This is the one where I bought it and I keep using it over and over and over and over again. This is where the subscription model is the best possible thing in the world.
Dollar Shave Club?
What was that?
Dollar Shave Club?
The Dollar Shave Club.
Have you seen the ads for that Dollar Shave Club? They're amazing. You'll have to look it up later.
Yeah, I want to say I am familiar with it, but it's escaping what the details were on it. It's the, can you explain real quick?
Yeah, it's basically they're doing cheap razors where they gotta be bringing people back over and over, and it's just
It's subscription razors, basically.
Yeah.
Subscription
Or
razors.
blades, I guess. It's
Yeah.
better.
So it's all about how you get people to come back. And that is what, so we were first showing the different social networks. That's where you come in, it's just like, well, people stopped going to MySpace. They lost their repeat users. This is why Facebook is successful, because people come back every day. Keep coming back because there's a reason, there's something tying them back, coming back. So when you think about how can you apply that to your product, okay, I'm not a social network. People aren't always going to be coming back to me, but what is there something in that element? Is there something that is advantageous for them to come back? That they earn points? Is there a game to it? Is there a reason for me to check in? Is there a necessity for me to come back and use the product again? The best way to do this is be awesome. Be that product that people want to interact with, that they want to get to every day, that they want to go back because they want to check up on something. And exceptional products will do that. They'll always bring new people back. Netflix, they talk about that. As long as you continue having good movies, people are always going to come back to Netflix. Netflix is now kind of run into problems, and we'll see if they can continue to have their repeat users. Next, invested in the product. So this is kind of a way to keep your person. So as soon as you spent that dollar, you had them show up. Couple of examples, and please let me know if you guys have some more. But Facebook. A lot of people are invested in Facebook, and Facebook I find real interesting on that everybody's on Facebook. I used to work at a college, and some of the students, some of the interns, they were saying, they have thousands of pictures inside of Facebook. Now you can do an export and stuff, but they're really tied to Facebook because that's where all of my pictures are. Everything got uploaded to it, and that's where it's sitting. My mother, she's uploaded everything onto Facebook. All the pictures are there. They're not going anywhere because even if there is an export, probably not going to find it until when I go over Thanksgiving and show her how to download it. But she's invested in the product. She's not going to come away from it. LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn has a very high invested in the product. I've collected all my business contacts there. So for example, like we all meet tonight, please hit me up on LinkedIn, request, we'll hook up on LinkedIn. Months, years go on, we may not be in contact, but when I need a person, I do a search and I try to find who in my network that I know that does this and that, that's great. But if you were trying to get me away from LinkedIn because someone came up with a better social network for professionals, I'm probably not going to export all my LinkedIn people, carry them over to my new network and upload them, because I really don't know all those people. I've been collecting LinkedIn people for years. I don't know all these people, but I have reached out to people on LinkedIn. You look them up like, how do I know the person again? I really need to talk to them, but you figure it out. That's why I think LinkedIn really has good staying power, because people are heavily invested in the content that they have. Those network relationships aren't necessarily as transferable as others. Dating sites, they do kind of the same thing. The model on the dating sites is they get you in the free sign up and you signed up and we've introduced you to some people and you want to cancel now? There's all these people who want to talk to you. You sure? Okay, I'll pay for another month. Oh wait, end of the month it's about to, oh wait, but these people, they want to talk to you. Keep it going. You're invested in the product, you've taken all this time and effort, you're in it, you're going to walk away from it. Luminosity is a cool one, and that kind of fits in with the other games. It's just like I'm working along, I'm getting smarter, I'm playing these games and I'm going on, I get points and move up. It's like it's a monthly subscription. It's like, am I going to quit this month? This is like I've already invested all this time, and I have a goal in mind. I got to get up there. It's harder to pull me away. Pandora, just from personal experience, there's Pandora, there's Spotify, they both play music. Pandora, I got those perfect stations. I spent so much time clicking the like button, thumbing down that one, never play this song again, please. And then you tweak it once, you up one song, it throws off the whole algorithm, and it's terrible, and it takes a month to tune and everything. Anyways, I have my perfect stations on Pandora. I'm not going anywhere because I have that time invested in it, and they'll get my premium subscription every year. I'll pay for it, and I'll stay on Pandora because I'm invested in the product. That's something you should be looking at. Do you have something that you can have people give you, commit to it, invest in the product that makes it have to go on? So kind of in summation, and then I'd really like your guys' feed up. So how to think like a growth hacker. You always want to think about growth. So when you're doing engineering, when you're building something, what's the easiest way, and this is kind of what we touched on viral, what's the easiest way to build growth? And I say it's the social. Get it out there, social, push it out there. Every action somebody takes on the website, is there an option to put a like button there? Is there an option to share with friends, push out an email? The things that are built in, YouTube's got it built in with the embed code. You have to share it to get out there. Skype, you have to work together on Skype. Yeah, I need that in the product to work together because it's worthless without me unless somebody else has Skype. Think of the different things that you can build into your product that make people have to tell other people, or make it in their best interest to tell other people. And that's usually the easier thing to do. Make it in people's best interest to share with other people and want to push your product out there. Look at all communication platforms as a tool. Build on the giants. I have no ambition, well, I do have some ambition of building the next Facebook, but realistically, I may not be building the next Facebook, but I am happy to build on the back of a 900 million person network, and on Twitter and on YouTube, and Airbnb did it with Craigslist. Look for who has the audience, who has the stadium full of people, who has an open mic night. There's an open mic night, I'm going to go to a small coffee shop, or am I going to walk into the stadium that already has 1 million people and talk to them? Look for the APIs, always be looking for how can I integrate, how can I get in front of mass people. Yeah?
How did Airbnb do something with Craigslist?
So they hacked the sign-up process. So they took the, it explains it real well in the article, it's not that long. And this is why they were giving so much credit to them, because it was really a genius way of looking at it. They had to figure out a lot of things, but it was essentially using the API, so you could fill it out on Airbnb, and then you could submit your listing on Craigslist without having to lose them from Airbnb, take it, then post individually. They were able to post from Airbnb to Craigslist. Craigslist now has blocked them.
Did they break the terms of service?
Yeah.
Craigslist doesn't even have an API, I don't think.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I think
They weren't happy about
They
it.
literally hacked it, so.
They did it about a year ago, and there was a bunch of noise about, people were screaming, they're spamming Craigslist, and how are they getting away with this, and how are they doing this and that. And it was actually just like a week ago that they put the smack down. And if you go on Quora, you can see it. And the last response was from Craig himself. And our customer service department is checking out, and they'll get back to it. He claims he doesn't know exactly what's going on, but they're handling it. Well, what it was, and this is where Quora, you guys really want to know, do Google searches, look for growth hackers, look for growth and all of that. Look in Quora. Quora is great. If the conversations that are going on inside of Quora are just absolutely amazing in what you can learn on how people did this. Because in there, that question comes up, how they did it. And it got started by Airbnb. We posted this today and we got banned. And now it's looking at, it's pulling out the word Airbnb.com is pulled out. So they just posted out of Quora. Why is this? What's going on? The conversation around it's fascinating. But anyways, so that's where sustainability comes in, because your viral growth market, your tool that you figured out may not have worked, but Airbnb's got a lot of customers right now. If they can sustain that, if they can keep working with them, keep pulling it. Learn from others, ventures and disciplines. Like I said, just study everything that you see on how people are doing it. Look at the ventures, look at people who have done it, and then the disciplines, like what are the practical applications for these?
Excuse me, I'm afraid I don't know what Quora is.
Cora, it's a,
Kind of a question and answer site.
It's like Wikipedia that smart people.
The people that tend to use it are really actually insiders right now. That will surely change, but for now, it's pretty amazing.
You
Yeah.
spell-
It's been like that for a while though. I mean,
Yeah.
S-U-R-A?
That's 'cause nobody- I mean, nobody-
QU.
Oh, like the question, okay.
QUORA.com. Yeah, we'll see if they can hold on to what's so special about it.
Yeah.
And what it is right now that's just great is you can ask a question and the CEO of the company is going to answer. You know, you can ask, Craigslist is answering to the questions, you know. And people want to share. It's kind of one of those like CEO roundtable, you know, that's probably the closest thing I can compare it to. It's a CEO roundtable, just really smart people giving really smart answers. But like you were saying, like I hope they can hold on to it, because
Yeah.
now I just see questions like really, like why is this question?
It's getting stupider over time, so hopefully, hopefully,
yeah.
they'll hang on.
Invite the mass public, it trends down. So sustainability, can Quora keep it up? They have something special, can they hold on to what makes them special? And worst case scenario, best case scenario, go drinking with your marketers, because they're not as smart as the engineers, but they drink liquor and they guess a lot, and you know, magic happens when engineers and marketers start drinking together. Some of my best ideas. So, you know, give me a call, email, everything's there. Feel free to contact me anytime. Like to open up to questions, discussion. I know I missed a million. There's a ton of examples. I'd kind of like to hear if anybody has a favorite growth that they've seen in a company, tricks that they've done. Anyone? Yeah.
I like Dropbox.
Dropbox, love Dropbox. So back, that one that if you guys weren't familiar, the one that I showed that had the magic URL, Dropbox did a couple things that are really cool. It's built into the core of the product. Is in order for you and I to use Dropbox, you're like, hey, I'm going to send you a Dropbox file. What's that? Okay, you're an idiot. Here's the URL. Go down. You know, you have to download it so it spreads virally. One of the things that they do is really brilliant is if you invite people, you get more free space. So you start off with 2 gigs, but you can get up to 6 gigs, and you can share this. So at the beginning, it was a sprint. I had to get my URL out there to as many people as quickly as possible so they could see it. So they'd sign up on my link, and I'd get the more free gigs. What was great about that is they did kind of the same thing like AppSumo and the others did, is you didn't know that I was selling out my friends. I looked like the nice guy. It's like, hey, there's this really cool thing called Dropbox, and if you click this link, you can go get it. Click, go
Get
get
2
it.
gigabytes
sign
of
up
free
for
space, too.
Yeah, I'm giving you 2 gigabytes for free. And it's not until you sign up and
So
get all
they
the way
didn't give it to
in.
you though. They got the user experience down.